The worst thing about influencer marketing for small businesses is that the fancy software is way too expensive. Rich Influencers solves that problem. Now your small business can find, engage, and manage micro and nano influencers, the ones that you can afford to work with. And Reach Influencers cost as low as $100 per month. It's kind of incredible. Go out and check out capturetheinfluence.com/podcast and see it for yourself. Find, engage, manage, influence with the software built and priced for your size business. It's capturetheinfluence.com/podcast. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm Seth. I'm here with Kevin Bailey of Dream Fuel, which is a mindset high. How did you describe Dream Fuel? I'm gonna let you do that actually.
A mental performance coaching platform.
That's what it was. I got stuck on the performance. I was trying to fit performance, that word in there. It's like, let him put the word
Mindset performance.
Mindset performance, but it's all about high performance to get people to the elite level and all that stuff. So Kevin, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Glad to be here, Seth.
Yeah, so you have the esteemed pleasure of working with a previous guest, Jamie Sewell. She's your VP of marketing, right?
VP of growth. She's awesome.
VP of growth. And you've been doing this mindset stuff for a while now, 2016, right?
Yeah, that was when I really started to do it commercially, but I had been into it maybe since 2006 or 7.
Longer than you would like to admit, right?
Yeah, man. For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We graduated the same year.
We graduated the same year from different schools, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, you think back, you're like, wow, that's like more than like, wow, that's a long time ago.
Just turned 40, so.
Oh, it's
40 years, yeah.
It's all uphill from here, right?
But it's all
mindset, but it's all mindset. If you think that, then it's going to be uphill. If you think it's smooth sailing, it's going to be smooth sailing. So
it is. I do an exercise. That's one of the more out there exercises I do. But probably once a month, I'll sit down and I will journal like I'm 1,000 years old, looking back. Ooh. And I'll journal about the future. And it's all just a way to kind of get my mind to believe that there is still opportunity and possibility ahead of me.
You're only 40, dude.
Yeah. So from that, from that perspective, well, I mean, but I'm launching a new business and stuff like that. So I like to look back. So from that perspective, I kind of look back at myself right now like I'm a newborn, and it's just for fun. Obviously, I have no idea.
It seems like a fun writing prompt.
There's a chance that it could happen. I don't expect it. I mean, you read Kurzweil's stuff and whatever. It's fun to just be like, because from that perspective, if you think about it that way, let's say we did extend life out, dramatically over the next 100 years. I think the tipping point is where you can extend it a year every year. So if life expectancy gets extended it more than a year every year, well then obviously that creates a long lifespan. But it's fun to just imagine and dream. But in that situation, I'm like a newborn.
Yeah. Like if you're 1,000 years old and when you're writing that, 40 is nothing.
Yeah, we're toddlers. So
exactly. So let's talk about your background. You grew up just south of Chicago. You went to University of Indiana.
Yeah.
And so what did you study over there?
I studied this, and then I got a minor in physics. So I studied that as like finance, accounting, and a little bit of physics.
So how did you find your way from that world to mindset? You've been doing it since, you graduated in 2004, so 2006 you got into mindset. How did you find your way into mindset training?
So I used visualization for my first startup, which was really the first stuff I did. I really got into visualization on my first startup, and we had some amazing visualizations that led to some really impressive outcomes. So the first startup I did was Inc. 58. We hit 12 million in ARR with no funding in I think 3.5 years.
Wow!
So it was rocket ship growth. And then when I hit about that point, I accidentally had my first child.
Oops.
He's awesome, but anyway,
best thing in the world. Yeah. Even when it's planned, it's still an oops because you get to it and you have them, and you're like, now what?
Yeah.
There's no user manual.
So we always say babies break mindsets. And at that point, I was running a 100+ person organization and I was CEO. And then I had this accidental pregnancy. And then at the time, I felt like I was just completely underwater. And my
Oh, I can
mindset
imagine.
broke. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have like a mental breakdown or anything like that, but I started to become very unproductive. And
Mm-hmm.
I met a neuroscientist, Diane Powell, and she taught me basically about the physiological states, where I was, and then taught me some hacks to shift out of it. And I also met a former Air Force or Navy pilot from Vietnam who had cured PTSD with meditation,
Oh,
and
wow.
he got real serious about helping me with my meditation practice. So I kind of combined those two things, awareness and mindfulness with
Mm-hmm.
neuroscience. I managed to resurrect myself and became a different person and a different kind of leader, and I started to became much more capable as a person. And my buddies started asking me what I was doing, and then I started kind of coaching my friends' sales teams on the side and some executives. And then Dream Fuel was kind of born out of that, which was just my own kind of experience, realizing that I didn't know what I didn't know, and that the mind and body have kind of an operating system. And if you can understand it, then you can do some pretty amazing feats, which most professional athletes know, but most people in the business world don't.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. LinkedIn believes B2B marketing can be B2 brilliant, B2 bold, and B2 breakthrough. How? With a platform purpose built to make B2B marketing mean more for your business. A platform with tools to help you build better relationships with your key customers, to boost your buyer's journey while building your brand. A platform with trusted data and lead generation you need to beat your KPIs, drive ROI, and stand out amongst the competition. And with the targeting tools on LinkedIn, you can reach your precise audience right down to their job title, company name, location, and more to make sure your ads are always seen by those who matter. So let's get ready to be too boldly go where no marketer has gone before, because LinkedIn is where B2B is everything it can be. Rethink your B2B marketing ads and get $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. It's amazing. You look at the high achievers and what they do. And I mean, Bezos and Gates and Buffett, these guys clearly have a mindset in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
And
Bezos, who the heck
they have
knows what's going on with
coaches.
him? Who knows the heck? Bezos is his own person. But yeah,
They all have
but
coaches.
seriously, he clearly has something because he started literally in an office with this that picture haunts me. It's all over LinkedIn. It's always finding me like, here's Bezos and in like what was it, like 97, just himself and a bunch of books. And
Yep.
look what he's now. He's like the second most important man and most richest man in the world. The first one we will not mention because I'm very bitter at that person right now. So I still understand how he's the richest, but we'll leave
A lot of people
Elon
are
Musk
bitter
out of it.
bitter about him right now. I don't
He's just
follow him too
weird.
closely. He has he's got he
He's
has some,
unique.
I would say he has some psychological stuff you might want to sort out.
He's ASD.
Yeah, yeah.
He admitted that he's ASD. I mean, that's some of the things I think some of the most brilliant
I think that
people.
was wonderful. He admitted that on SNL, but I still think you can have
He needs to
ASD.
now
It's
sort it out now. Now that you
still
admitted
some stuff
it,
to sort out. Yeah, it's not even
he's
ASD
kind of
that needs sort out. You can have ASD and be totally fine.
yeah.
The level of confrontation he likes to create with people seems to be interesting. But I rented a Tesla Model X P100D or
Ooh.
whatever last time I was in San Diego, and marvelous car. So I don't know
Yeah.
why we all have to be like entrepreneur celebrities. Like he built a great car. Like he could just keep it at that, you know.
Instead of
And he
all this
builds
other
cool rides.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
we don't
mean,
need all
it's
this like personal shit. You build a great car, you know.
you build a
That's
great car,
awesome.
and then SpaceX, and
Yeah, you build great
then
rockets. Like
Starlink.
why does everybody need to be a little micro celebrity, right?
Because then we'll get back on topic here in a second. And we like how we said we're not going to mention him. Yeah, we mention him, but the whole idea is that everyone equates him to Tony Stark in Iron Man
Oh,
because he's
he's
done
not
all these
Tony
weird
Stark.
things, and I'm like, he's not Tony Stark. Tony Stark had his own craziness, but that's besides the point. So back to Kevin here. So
Yeah.
Kevin, the whole mindset journey. You had your first kid. How many? You have 3 kids now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, 3.
So obviously the other ones were more planned than the first one. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, they
But you
were.
see, your first kid, you kind of had to then hack your mindset. You figured out, hey, I have a knack for this. I enjoy this. This is something that I want to do for a living. Now, have you always been an entrepreneur at heart? Is that in the genes in your family, or is it
Yeah, it's
like
definitely in my genes. So yeah, that path was sort of always
also you
natural
grew
for
up seeing
me.
your parents being entrepreneurs and stuff like that?
Yeah, my grandparents. Yeah. both.
Oh, so long line of entrepreneurs. And so, what is the best thing about being an entrepreneur besides versus being an intrapreneur? I like to always say people that are in businesses can have the opportunity to be an intrapreneur. A lot
Yeah.
of them aren't, but a lot of them can be if they choose to be. What is like the best thing about being an entrepreneur?
I mean, it's very much on you, and it's not really politics. It's a puzzle. It's an incredible journey. It has incredible potential to it. It has heroing falls. It's a really fun game. I don't know. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it is and I think it's the first time I heard someone actually really say that it's like a game. But when you think about it, it really is. If you're on a hero's journey here, and you're able to align yourself and go where you want to go, which is nice. And I think that can also be kind of the opposite question, which I usually ask afterwards. What's the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur? I think it's oftentimes the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all on you, so you got nobody else to blame if you have struggles. It's a heroic quest for sure. It's I think of heroes' journeys, and I love Joseph Campbell's framework. We use it a lot in our
Hmm.
programs. You look at the heroes' journeys, especially if you're wanting to build a high growth company, which is a whole nother type of entrepreneurial roller coaster, but it will put you to the mat and test every fiber of your being. So it's not as much of a challenge as being a soldier in war or something, but it has a way of ironing out your issues. You sign up to be successful and make some money and have a good time, and then you end up going on some soul journey that reveals, every aspect of you that needs to be worked on.
What is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
You got to carry a light heart.
Hmm.
You can't take this thing too seriously. Whenever I see anybody taking life too seriously or entrepreneurship too seriously or anything too seriously, I always say they're ready for a scarcity trap. They're ready to get
Hmm.
stuck. They start to drift into those awful states of flight and freeze and
Hmm.
cortisol induced comas,
Those are the
IQ's
worst.
lower, exhaustion, burnout. And the only real way to get through the journey and not live in those states is to carry a light heart. You got to roll with the punches. I like from a mindset standpoint I affirm to myself, people say, "Oh, how you doing?" Like, I live in the dream, and I like to think of this as a dream. So
Yeah.
whenever I get too caught up in reality and things get too serious, I affirm to myself. I go, you know, I might get done with this and realize that this was a dream, just like the dreams I have. And like, I don't get mad at my dreams. I wake up and I'm like, eh. And I've heard a lot of people talk about near-death experiences where they wake up or they come out of, whatever, and they're just like, yeah, like life isn't even that big of a deal when you look at it from that perspective. And
Hmm.
there's other dimensions beyond this. And so I like sometimes when things are getting kind of serious. I'm like, this could just be a dream, and you're gonna wake up
Hmm.
out of this and you're gonna look at this and be like, oh, well, this is one of my many lifetimes, or however you want to say it, and it just wasn't that big of a deal, and I spent my time being frustrated, and I hope when I get done with this dream
Yeah.
that
Air
I look
quotes.
back and I say that was a good dream because I didn't take it too
Yeah.
fucking seriously. Sorry, pardon my
No,
French. I
you
didn't
can
take it too
curse in this.
seriously.
You can curse in this. You can curse in this. It's fine. It's totally cool.
so
But
so
it
carrying a
kind of,
light carrying a light heart.
it kind of always reminds me. I always think of it. For some reason, it's a good movie, but it's not exactly a very deep movie. But Men in Black, at the very end of the movie, when they zoom out of the Earth, and they zoom
Yeah,
out of that, and all of a sudden it's a bag of marbles, and an aliens holding it.
yeah,
This galaxy of a galaxy of a galaxy of a galaxy of a galaxy to a marble. And the aliens just looking at this, and we're this tiny, that microscopic speck. And I'm sure they were going there with that
yeah.
to make you think, but I wonder how many people actually thought about that, and that's that one end scene stuck with them. Whereas the rest of the movie, I forget. I mean, I know it was a good movie, but I don't remember the details. But I remember
Yeah,
that
no,
last scene,
I remember that scene really well too. It was a great ending, you know.
and the rest of the movies were trash.
It was a pretty
They
smooth
were
exit.
fun, but they were not. They were
Yeah.
not like the sequels are never like the original. There's very
Oh
few that
yeah.
have sequels. I mean, Top Gun was really good. The second Top Gun, from what I hear,
I saw that. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but I hear that it helped that it was really far from the first one. So it's almost
It's
like
a
a
yeah.
catch up versus a sequel. So
Yeah, it's a trip down memory lane to an era of American history that was different.
Different to say
You
the least. Exactly.
know?
So Kevin, so Dream Fuel, how would you describe Dream Fuel?
Yeah, so Dream Fuel is a mental performance coaching platform. We work with high performers, helping them become elite performers. So we work with people who have a very high potential, work with athletes as well as executives, as well as a lot of high performing salespeople and some other people from other departments and teams. Anybody who has a lot of potential who tends to have good and bad days, maybe
Mm-hmm.
a little more bad days than they would like. And then we
Yeah,
teach them how to recraft, reconfigure, rewire, reprogram, whatever you want to call it, their mindset using some neuroscience-based tools to
that's
where
wild.
they show up consistently at with a high performance mindset day in and day out, which raises their performance, their productivity, more flow state, more being in the zone, bigger, better numbers, whatever they're doing, productivity increases because they have less bad days. They show up feeling good most days. They get it done. They know how to kind of hack their nervous system.
Well, that's wild.
It's
Yeah.
really fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun, and then you can go back and say, "Hey, I helped that person. That person was a hot mess, and then we came in there, and now not only he's like this elite performer, he's meeting his goals. His home life's better. He's not stressed out. He's not burnt out. I mean, that's a pretty rewarding thing to
Yeah,
be able to draw on.
exactly. Yeah, people
Awesome.
love it. It's a beautiful job, and I get to do what I enjoy all the time and
Yeah,
help people through their epic quests,
their hero's journey, their
fight their
their dream.
dragons.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's wild, and I do like that it's called Dream Fuel because we are in a perpetual dream, and it's kind of meta because then you go into a dream, and sometimes those dreams have dreams within those dreams, and the tunnel. Those are the weird ones when you get into a dream and you wake up, you're still in the dream. You're like, wait, I gotta keep going, up
I
this
know.
ladder to get out of this damn
It's
thing.
fractals.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole idea is that so Dream Fuel, you can find it. What is it? It's dreamfuelcoaching.com,
It's just
right?
dreamfuel.com.
So your dreamfuel.com. I get used
Yep.
to that. You're also at Kevin James Bailey on the LinkedIn.
Yeah. Most of
Literally,
it on
that's
LinkedIn
if
here and
you
there.
look for that, look from there. You can find him on LinkedIn. Where else? Where else do you hang out online?
Those are really the two places. I like to make some time for LinkedIn every week, but that's about as far as I can spread right now with everything I got going on.
So Kevin, this has been fun.
Yeah, been good chatting with you, Seth.
Awesome. And we'll see everyone next week. That was a great show. Hey, if you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please give us a review on the podcast trusted of your choice. We're on all of them. And these reviews really help others find the show. Also, if you're getting value from the show and want to buy me a coffee, go to the show notes and click on the link to help me stay awake while I bring you more great episodes to your ears. That's in the show notes, and I look forward to the next episode. Take care, guys. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
This podcast is coming to you on MPN, the Marketing Podcast Network. There's another show on MPN you might enjoy as well. I'm Jamie Lieberman, host of the Unbusiness Podcast. In each episode, we talk about the issues that face every entrepreneur where business and legal strategy intersect. Subscribe to the Unbusiness Podcast today. It'll make your business that much smarter. Just visit hashtag-legal.com or search for the Unbusiness Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.